that some of you got a bit tired the last 2 days, but maybe they will come. So this is our third and last day. As I said already, what I want to do is to speak now about the research programs of the European Commission. And you see the program here will find the parts as it changed. So I want first to introduce the research programs and give you an overview of all the research programs. Then what I have done, I have picked one of them to present in more detail, because all of these research programs in some way they work in the same way. So I picked one, ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. So I think this is your area, although I confess we will not speak so much about technology. The World People Program actually is a mistake here, it should be one up. Following this, what I want to do, I want to show you some examples of projects which give you a little bit more background, how other people have prepared and have carried out projects. After the lunch break, I want to speak a little bit about project management, what you need to do in order to be involved, in order to manage a research project. And I think also that you will see there are not so many differences to the structural funds or the IPA programs. There are differences in fact, but not so many. And at the end I want to speak a bit about the future. There is a new program which is called Horizon 2020, a new research program to be more specific. So this is the program for today. And I want to start more or less with a short reminder in order to set the context. So we have spoken about all this. You remember first day I mentioned and explained briefly Europe 2020. I said to you that Europe 2020 is divided into 7 flagship initiatives. We have spoken in a bit more detail about these 2, Digital Agenda and Innovation Union, because I said this is the part of Europe 2020 that concerns us the most. Now, for these flagship initiatives, the Digital Agenda, as you remember, is the one that is based on Internet. Innovation Unit is one of these flagship initiatives that would like to promote innovation, but in all kinds of areas, in order to support economic growth and create more jobs. So this is again with the political context. What I didn't say to you, the Digital Agenda, the first flagship initiatives, is again divided in some other points, and these are called action areas. You see, these are how many? 7 action areas, and one of these is called research and innovation. So here we see one emphasis of the European Union on research. So this is fit the context. We see that research programs are really embedded in the policy of the European Union and in particular in Europe 2020. And there is another aspect which in fact is older than Europe 2020. You may remember Europe 2020 was created when? Which year?
2010.
2010, exactly. So the policy for this decade, I could say. Now there is another more political topic that is important for the research programs, which is called the European Research Area. I think I've mentioned this very briefly the first day, but in fact it is important because with all these research programs, the European Union wishes to establish this European Research Area. What does it mean? And you see several points here. In one word, I would say, the goal of the European Research Area is that all researchers can freely work together all over Europe and share knowledge. We have several points here, and again, this is the official language of the European Commission. The first one, market for research, free mobility of researchers. This means researchers should be able to move around, to travel around Europe in a free way, to go to whichever university they want. Free mobility of knowledge. This means all knowledge that is produced in the European Union should be available throughout the Union, independent of the country and the language. Now, European research fabric, this aims a bit at policy of the European Union. So research policies should be created throughout the Union, funding schemes that make it possible that all researchers exchange throughout Europe, and there should be a common policy for research. And there are in fact also programs of the European Union to coordinate national research policies, national and R&D investments, and there should be linkages with our policies. So this is an important point, European research area, and as I said at the beginning, with the research programs, the European Union has the vision, I would say the vision, to establish such a European research area. So political background, research and innovation as part of the flagship initiative Digital Agenda within Europe 2020. Secondly, the European research area. Now, this is again a reminder to you. We spoke about the multi-annual financial framework and its budgetary headings. Yesterday, we were in this upper area. The EU as global partner with IPA and cohesion for growth and development employment with the structural funds. Now we are going down to the last point, which as a budgetary heading is called competitiveness for growth and employment. And here on the financial side or the instruments side, we see the three research programs that I want to speak about today. So this is the context, and I think I have shown you this slide also on the first day. This is the same as before, only in a little. You see the three programs down here, and these are the three programs. The very big one, 7th Framework Program, which finances innovative research and development. We have a lifelong learning program, and we have a small program which is competitiveness and innovation program, which deals in some way with moving research results closer to the market. So these are three programs. And again, what I want to do today, I want to give you more detail about this, in particular about the 7th Framework Program, which is the largest, as I said, but then this means also the most complex. Now my first question that I want to explain to you, what is the relation between these programs and the relation between the other programs that we see here and that we have discussed yesterday? And there is a clear relation, although still on a, how can I say, on a theoretical level or political level. In practice, this may be a bit different, I confess. Now you see here the programs. FP7, you have seen this, stands for Framework Program 7, LLP, Lifelong Learning Program, CIP, Competitiveness and Innovation Program. Here, down here, we have the structural funds. And you see a lot of arrows between this. This means, well, how does the European Commission see this? We have here research creating innovation. In some way, let me say the potential for new products. This CIP, I said this is a small program, aims at picking up, taking research results and preparing them for the market. When I say preparing them for the market, this also means not producing products, it's more preparing technology transfer. Now here we have the structural funds and the pre-accession funds. You might have understood from yesterday that here we are speaking more about implementation, about real products, about producing, for example, software for e-government. We mentioned e-government yesterday. So the idea is here we do research, we do kind of technology transfer, and then these results are used in the structural funds. So there should be a circle, and when we do this in reality, do implementation in the structural funds or pre-accession funds, then what should emerge is new requirements, new ideas for research for the future. So this is the idea of the European Union, how they see all these programs brought together. So I put here on the slide, mutually reinforcing and complementary. They are not equivalent. The theory, and I said before, it's a bit theoretical. The theory is that they all work together. In practice, it may be a bit different. And when we participated in pre-accession funds in Bulgaria, I didn't see, honestly, I didn't see much use of research results. But anyway, this is the idea. There are different tools and approaches, but one objective is what is behind Europe 2020 or the digital agenda. Maybe I should have put here also the Innovation Union. Okay, is this clear? This is how the European Union sees this. And with this, I want to address another basic point, which is important. As you understand, we are speaking about research. And I said that there is this other, bit smaller program, which is called CIP, Competitiveness and Innovation Program, that deals with technology transfer. What is this? This is a kind of innovation cycle on this picture. So you see here, it starts when you see this on the bottom, product idea, solution, design, prototype, product final, first test of product, and commercial end product. So the idea here in this innovation cycle is that it starts in some way with an idea, and then over time the idea is further developed into a final product. Now where are the research programs of the European Commission situated? You see at the top, research and development and commercial development. And you see this big yellow block here. This means when we speak about FP7, for example, this is something which is situated here. FP7 is research and does not finance product development. So here, FP7 stops, and we are still far away from product development. This is very important to understand. You see here curiosity-driven research, solution exploration, prototyping. This all can be financed by FP7, but it stops here. So there are specific parts, I will mention this, that deal actually with what is called here curiosity-driven research. Now the program CIP is situated somewhere around here. It takes up research results, for example prototypes, and move this a little bit further to the market. This means preparing market conditions. This could, for example, mean a validation test together with users. What is written here? Original development of a pre-commercial volume of first product services in the form of test series. So CIP is around here, but also doesn't go much further. So we are with research programs in this first half, or if you like, 2/3 of the innovation cycle. But again, the research programs in the European Union doesn't finance, doesn't give grants, you remember the word grant, doesn't give grants to product development, because from a political point of view, then they would finance competition. So competition should be left to the market and not be subsidized. these are some very important principles. You remember European research area, the relation between research programs and structural funds, and the positioning of the research programs on the innovation side. Any question? Now let me briefly address the lifelong learning program. This I will be very short here. So we have here all programs that deal with education. Education means from the child to the adult. And let me go immediately to the next slide. Here you see the sub-programs of the life learning program. So this is again divided into sub-programs. When you look here, the first four, what we have: schools, higher education, vocational education and training, adult education. So schools, these are, let me say, the children. Then we have universities, higher education. So universities would probably participate in the Erasmus program. Then we have vocational education and training. This means for people who are in the professional environment, who are doing their job, to finance programs that help them to better develop. Leonardo da Vinci. And finally, adult education, any kind of adult education, which could include education of seniors or pensioners. Grundtvig. These are the four important sub-programs. Then we have some other programs which I would say are not so important, which are give more a political basis. Transversal program, you read here, policy cooperation, languages, information, communication technologies, effective dissemination and exploitation of project results. By the way, do you understand the word dissemination? What means dissemination? Silence. Does it mean you don't know? Dissemination is a very important word in the context of European programs, in particular European research programs. The English word to disseminate means to spread out, and it stands for publishing results, or if you like, a kind of marketing. In all these research programs, dissemination is and has to be one important part. So when you participate in a research program, in a research project, then you will have within the research project one task that is called dissemination, and you are obliged to go, for example, to conferences and publish papers, give presentations at conferences, and the European Union pays for this. And I think even as a university, if you are doing research at the university, you should be interested in this. There is another word, and I will actually come back to this, which is here, exploitation. What is exploitation? Do you use? Yeah. Yes, so you know. This is another important word of the European Union, and if you think back of this innovation curve that I have shown to you, I said that the research projects are this part, the first part of the innovation cycle. But the European Union requests you, obliges you even, to explain how, when you get research money, a research grant, how you imagine that you continue further work, how you exploit the research results. Okay? We will come back to this. Now coming back to our lifelong learning program. We have here, these are, say, some studies, some policy work. We have a Jean Monnet program. Jean Monnet was also one of the fathers of the European Union who worked together with teaching, reflection, debate. So this is some networking, some political debates and discussions. So this is more or less the lifelong learning program with these four important parts. And if I go back to this, so it is for the European Commission one program related to everything with education, vocational training and e-learning. So it's not only face-to-face, e-learning is in fact an important part. They have a budget of 7 billion euro in our period of 7 years. And I can immediately say that in the future there will not be a lifelong learning program as it is now, as an individual and separate program, but it will continue to exist in another form. So we are dealing here with interchange, cooperation, mobility. Mobility is a very important topic of the lifelong learning program. And mobility means that projects are financed where researchers or teachers of any kind can travel around Europe. Important is the modernization, adaptation of education and systems. And this is also one reason why I put this together with the research programs, although you could argue that education is not really research, but it is focused in some way also on this first part of the innovation cycle. You find more information here. So this was lifelong learning program with the 4 sub-programs for education, vocational training, e-learning, use of information technology in education. Any question? So one word, and I think there's only this slide, on the CIP program. As I said, it's a small program. I don't have the money here, but I thought it's not so important. The main goals are technology transfer and use of technology, preparation of the market. Then one part is also development of innovation policies. So you see it comes back again. On one side we have projects, the example that I mentioned before. Test of a software prototype, for example, that was developed in a research program. But we have also policy component. And this program is divided into 3 sub-programs. Entrepreneurship and innovation program, which is focused on SMEs to develop innovations, including financing schemes like venture capital. Then we have a program that is dealing with energy, intelligent energy. So in this case, not renewable energy, but rather use, for example, of information technology in order to make the distribution and use of energy more effective. And we have an IT part, information communication technology, policy support program, ICT, PSP. One short remark here. This program is practically finished already. There are no calls anymore. They have rather small projects, and all projects are financed at 50%, which makes this program not so attractive. This will change within the next budgetary period. But when you participate, the European Commission gives you a grant that covers only 50% of the research project costs. Okay, any question? So we spoke about the lifelong learning program, we spoke about the CIP program, and with this I come now to the largest part, which is the 7th framework program. Shortly, everybody speaks only about FP7. What you see here, FP7 again, it will end this year. There are still during this year calls available, but rather small calls. So we could say practically it is closing down. Projects are of course continuing. This means it could be that is within this research program, projects are starting this year. And of course they will be paid even if they go on until 2015 or 2016. So the full name is 7th Framework Program see here, there are political objectives, strengthening the scientific and technological base of the European industry. This is the first, and encouraging international competition through research that supports EU policies. Here, I said this to you yesterday, we have the policies and all the financing programs support the implementation of policies. The European Commission gives money, gives grants, that the EU policies can be implemented. So these, and I will come back at the end of this day to the difference between these objectives and new objectives from 2014. Strengthen the scientific and technology base of the European industry. At the end, again, from a political side, we hear about competitiveness, which means economic growth, creating more jobs. However, you remember that we are at the front of the innovation cycle, and when somebody participates here, it lays, I would say, the base for better competitiveness, but this can only be reached when we go through the whole innovation cycle until the production of a product or service. What are the main elements? And here we have some keywords in this slide. One keyword is industry. You have seen this before, competitiveness of industry. And there is one particular important point, which is called technology platform. Abbreviated, and in European Commission context, everybody speaks about ETP. European technology platforms. Where the European Union wants, together with the industry, build key strategic areas of Europe, such as mobile communications. Then we have here a European Research Council, ERC, European Research Council. The European Research Council is an organization that was created only for the 7th Framework Programme and that deals with very forward-looking and innovative research ideas, so basic research, let us say. Then we have international cooperation. So international cooperation is emphasized in the research programs. And then here, and this is something I will explain after the break in much more detail, call for proposals, you have heard this yesterday, and work programs. When I say work program here, this corresponds to what we have called yesterday operational program in the context of IPA and structural funds. So the keywords: technology platforms, European Research Council, international cooperation, calls for proposals, and work programs. And I will come back to this first actually. Now, this is the structure of FQ7. What do you see? Firstly, a lot of colors, I believe. This is not produced by me, this is just copied from the European Commission website. And it is actually very colorful, firstly. And secondly, on my screen the colors are very bright. Unfortunately, this doesn't show on this screen. Then you see a lot of individual topics. So what it means, it looks very complicated, doesn't it?
One question.
Yeah, please.
The European Union opposes nuclear energy.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
European Union.
Does it oppose nuclear energy?
Does it oppose?
Oppose.
No, not.
Yes.
When you ask whether the European Union opposes nuclear energy, I would first say on a political level, to my knowledge, still building nuclear energy. What you see here, and this is something that I don't want to speak about in more detail. Here is written non-nuclear actions by the Joint Research Center. The Joint Research Center in the 1950s was actually created for doing research on nuclear energy, including alternative energy methods. So there is still research going on nuclear energy in the research center of the European Commission. So this is part of the budget, but not so much money. I think around €1 billion for 7 years, which nevertheless may sound to you like a lot of money. But compared to the rest, it's not so much money. So there is no official statement, to my knowledge, by the European Commission or European Union on nuclear energy, and research is carried out and funded by the European Commission on nuclear energy. This is my answer. Now what I want to do, I don't want to explain this now, but I want to go into more detail. So what you see, we have here in these pictures large areas, here, and we have small areas. And these large areas stand for, let me say, big programs. So we have the FP7 is structured in what is called specific programs, and there are 4 of them, plus some little part, which is nuclear energy, called Euratom. So we have 4 programs: cooperation, ideas, people, capacities. I will explain this in a little bit more detail. Let me just say cooperation is the biggest part, and it is called cooperation because one goal of this program is that researchers throughout Europe work together, cooperate. And when I say researchers, this doesn't only mean researchers in this strict sense. This means that, of course, there should be researchers, staff of universities, but there should also be companies included, and so-called users. This means people who can test, evaluate technologies, for example, government administration. And these are all kinds of research areas. Ideas, the name stands for creating new ideas. This is the reason for name. So here, activities or projects are funded that deal with new research ideas. People, again, the name stands for what it says. This is funding given to people that can move around, mostly researchers, in order to support their research work. Capacities, dealing with capacities means the basic foundations of research. 4 specific programs. This is the first point. And to understand, FP7 is divided into specific programs. Now again, for the future, actually we will have the same again, but partially using different words. The word specific program will disappear, but we have the same type of topics. They will be kept in some other form. Now the budget. The overall budget is €50.5 billion for 7 years. If we subtract this GRC, this nuclear and non-nuclear research, this money given only to the Joint Research Center of the European Commission, if we subtract this, we get to funding for grants of around €7 billion per year. So this is the order of magnitude. For the next financial framework from 2014 to 2020, people are speaking about something between 80 and 70 billion euros. The last decision is not yet taken. So you see also what I said already, the cooperation program is the largest of these. One word again about international cooperation. I said to you that international cooperation is one of the keywords of FP7. Now what it means, the question could be formulated in this way. have candidate countries. Now, as a candidate country, this does not automatically mean that you can participate in FP7, theoretically. In order to participate in FP7, you need to conclude a specific science and technology cooperation agreement. Of course, all candidate countries and pre-candidate countries, potential candidate countries, have concluded such agreements. This means that Bosnia and Herzegovina can participate without restriction in FP7. And this means also that all these countries have to pay their contribution. So it works in this way on the level of the government. A country, like also Bosnia and Herzegovina, pays to the European Commission a kind of fee, I confess I don't know how much it is, that the country can participate in FP7. Now the money comes back in terms of project participation. So if a country has a lot of projects, then a lot of money gets back to the country, not to the government, but to universities and companies. And this is a kind of cycle that in some cases works very well, in other cases it doesn't work very well. And the experience is when a country starts to work in FP7, then everything starts very slowly and only little money gets back. Bulgaria participates in these framework programs from FP5. We're speaking about FP7, there was of course FP6, FP5. And the government of Bulgaria at that time was very unhappy because they had to pay a lot of money and only very few organizations participated in the research programs. Now, the best in this case is which country? What would you guess? Which country gets more money back than it pays? Any guess from your side? Well, no, not really. The best are the Greeks. The Greeks? Yes. The Greeks know very well how to get the money back. One advantage of the Greeks is that there are a lot of Greek people all over Europe. So they have a very large European community and they all work together. So there is a Greek person in an English university and this English university participates in projects and they involve Greek people. So Greeks are very keen and very able to participate in those kind of projects. Only as a scientific remark. So again, we have the associated countries, and in this respect, we have countries that are associated to FP7. Then we have third countries. These are not candidate countries, and as such cannot be associated to FP7. So candidate countries and association to FP7 is in some way linked to each other. But they can participate. Third countries, I mean countries everywhere in the world, for example Latin America, United States, Japan, Asian countries, they all can participate and they can get money if their participation is necessary for the project. And these are called, if you speak, ICPC, International Cooperation Partner Countries. One remark here, we have Kosovo. Kosovo is not a candidate country, and Kosovo doesn't have science and technology cooperation agreement. So officially for the European Union, for these programs, Kosovo is a third country or an ICPC, as a side remark. Okay? So international cooperation is important, and both the associated countries and third countries, again the European Union works, can participate in all kinds of projects. So I'm looking at the watch. Now what I want to do is now to go in detail, or a little bit more detail, through all these individual parts, the capacity program, the people program, the ideas program, and the cooperation program, which I would need for all this maybe 15 let me say 20 minutes. It is 9 o'clock. Maybe it would be a good time to break now, and after the break I continue. So these are the basics of the research project.